Welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, February 21st, 2019. I'm Keith Tebow. There's some news regarding Mayor Correa's indictment on federal fraud and tax charges. We have an update on the BMC Durfee High School construction project, information about a new Fall River location where residents can apply for a U.S. passport, and we take a look ahead at the upcoming Early Childhood Summit planned at the Fall River Children's Museum. But first, we'll check in with the news headlines of the week. After a 2-week hiatus, we have Lynn Sullivan, editor-in-chief of the Herald News, back with us. Lynn, welcome back. How are you?
Thank you. Good.
Let's start, first of all, with a not-so-positive story, if you will. Last week on our news, we did have the report of that fatal stabbing within the city of Fall River, which claimed to life of a 17-year-old student at the Resiliency Preparatory School here in Fall River. Since then, this past week, we found out that a 16-year-old cousin of William Wheeler, who was the victim of the stabbing, was arrested. And it's really turned out, Lynn, to be a very sad story. And there was a memorial this past weekend at Kennedy Park over this. And I guess, you know, there's always a lot of sad pieces to a story like this, but when it seems to be, you know, amongst family members, that seems to be particularly tough.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anytime, you know, a young person dies, it's sad, it's unexpected, but this is just, I mean, imagine this poor family, you know, the victim and the accused all in one family. And I mean, the accused 16 years old, and he's being charged as an adult, and you just wonder, like, do kids even realize what they're doing, and that this now has ruined so many lives? So it's awful.
Yeah, we just wanted to have a quick follow-up on that, because last week at the time, we had reported that the stabbing had taken place. I believe we had Mr. Wheeler's identity at the time, but we had nothing else as a follow-up. So we just wanted to fill in people who were watching last week that, yes, an arrest has been made. It's a 16-year-old cousin of William Wheeler, and as you said, Lynn, he's going to be charged as an adult as that process moves forward. And again, it happened overnight on the 13th and the 14th, 1 week ago. All right, back to the situation with Mayor Correa and the federal indictments that he is facing. His attorney, Kevin Reddington, this week filed a motion with the federal court to see if he could speak to some of the witnesses in the case for the possibility of having the mayor actually repay some of the debts that he has for the lenders or the investors of the Snow Owl app. This came out just the other day, Lynn, and there's a lot of questions around this. But first of all, what's first important to note is that when the mayor was indicted, he was instructed not to have any contact with any of the witnesses in the case, and those include the people who were alleging that the mayor defrauded him through the Snow Owl operation. And it looks like that what Attorney Reddington is looking to do is sort of waive that requirement so that the mayor can, in effect, sort of pay back the investment made by these individuals. There's a lot of questions around this, Lynn, but I guess that's basically, in a nutshell, what the mayor would like to do. I know that Joe Cood had the opportunity to speak to the mayor about this this week, and it looks like the mayor is just trying, in his opinion, to make good on those investments from those people.
Right. It does seem like a strange situation, and I know there's some that sort of hinges a lot on the definition of investor or lender. But it does seem like you can't really imagine a situation where, say, you'd have an armed robber in court and he was trying to pay back the store owner that he held up. You can't really, I don't know, it does seem like a strange situation, and you sort of can see, I guess, from both sides. I mean, yes, here's the mayor saying, well, okay, I did take money from these people to start this company, and, you know, they're understandably annoyed, I guess, that their money didn't pay off. So here's my chance. I'll just give them back what they're owed. But then you can also understand the prosecutor saying, wait a minute, this is like paying off a witness. So right. I don't know. I wonder what's really going to happen with this. It seems rather odd. Right.
The U.S. Attorney's Office has been steadfast in saying in the past that, you know, they would not like to see potentially the mayor speak to, or even a representative of the mayor speak to these witnesses. And, even in Attorney Reddington's motion before the judge, he does mention that, it may appear to some that this is being done less than 30 days before a recall election, and there may be some complaints about that. And, that's obviously what a lot of people have been talking about since this came out this week, that, is this the mayor again trying to make himself look good in the eyes of the voters less than 30 days before an election?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can see that side of it, but then at the same time, this is all wrapped up all together. This election, the charges, and that's sort of what we've been saying from the start. Whether or not this is a move that's a calculated political move to get himself some votes or not, I mean, it's just the timing of this all is just so difficult,
right. And it should be interesting to note that even if the judge were to allow a representative of the mayor to meet with these individuals, and even if they were to accept some sort of payment, it will not impact the criminal charges that the mayor faces in federal court, the 9 charges of defrauding investors and also the 4 charges of tax fraud. So those could still move forward. It has nothing to do with that. But what the mayor would also like to seek in paying back the investors is that sort of a commitment by them not to seek any civil charges against the mayor after the criminal case is adjudicated, or also asking these investors to relinquish any of the intellectual property rights that they may have had when they invested in the company. So there's a lot of layers to this, and we will again continue to follow this. The mayor is not due in court again until after the recall election, so we will see what transpires through all this. We don't know whether the judge will make a ruling on this motion before that date, I believe in April, but we will continue to follow suit. To go along with this, Lynn, typically the mayor will have his State of the City address, which is usually before city councilors in city council chambers in Fall River. I believe the mayor was looking to have his address take place, usually in February or March. But there's been some reluctance on the part of the city council to allow him to do that. What do you know about this?
Yes, it sounds like, I mean, he initially asked, he wanted to do it before the recall, and Councilor Ponte said no. He offered him a date that was after the election, which you can understand, because again, like we're saying, the timing is kind of strange and a little bit difficult here, so you can sort of understand just, allowing him to have this speech before the election sort of operate as a campaigning opportunity, and that doesn't seem fair to the other candidates. But I guess Joe Good did speak with the mayor today, and he did say that he is going to ask again to have his speech before the election. So we'll see what they'll do. I mean, obviously the city, it's usually a nice opportunity to sort of go over what has been accomplished and what is planned. So, I mean, it's good for residents to hear that.
Right.
However, it does seem to complicate the issue that it would be just before the election.
Was there any indication on the part of the mayor that, traditionally it's been held in city council chambers, but I would think that if the mayor wants to provide a state of the city, he could do that in just about any venue. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think there was talk that it would be in the atrium, which, I mean, I guess would be sort of interesting. I mean, we saw this sort of play out on the national scene as well with the president and Nancy Pelosi. So it is kind of an interesting situation. But I guess by the charter, he just has to do it before the end of March, I believe.
Right, that is in the charter. So there's still time for him to do that even after the recall election if he is voted back into office or if the recall is unsuccessful on that date. Speaking of the recall, 1 week from today, the Herald News, in partnership with FRCmedia, WSAR, and FRG TV, will be hosting the first debate for the recall election. It'll be 1 week from today at 6:30 p.m. at Morton Middle School. And Lynn, I know that you helped organize this. You were in touch with the candidates. As of right now, are all the candidates committed?
Well, the mayor is still a little bit up in the air, but the rest of them are all on board, so we'll see. We'll take anybody who's willing. but yeah, I'm excited for this opportunity for, another opportunity for these candidates to reach the voters. And we really felt, and I know you felt strongly, and FRGTV and WSAR, everybody felt strongly that this was something that we needed to do for this election.
Right, and that'll be 1 week from today at the 28th, 6:30 p.m. Doors at Morton will open at 6, I believe, correct? So people can get in at 6 o'clock. And then I've got to get my soup pressed as I'm serving as the moderator of the debate. And Lynn will be on a panel with some other journalists from the organization. So we'll look forward to seeing that. And we'll have more information as we head up to it 1 week from now. So Lynn, what else is coming up at the paper over the next few days?
Well, we're going to continue every Sunday up till the election. We're running sort of a look at a different issue with all the candidates. And last week it was economic development. This week coming up it will be public safety. So we're looking at some of the most important issues facing this city. We've also got some information about a new restaurant that is being planned. I guess it's like kind of 3 restaurants in one, planned for the old Townhouse Clubhouse. And then we've got to look at sort of a difficult look at the opioid overdose deaths in Fall River last year, a little bit different than the situation in the state where the numbers were going down. And that's about it.
All right. Okay, Lynn, we'll talk again next week. Have a great week.
Okay. Thank you.
We'll have more FRC Media news after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Assistant Child Care Director. The Fall River YMCA, located at 199 North Main Street, is in need of a full-time assistant child care director, responsible for management of an after-school program for 150 children. Job number 117-58537. Quick Service Technician. Empire Hyundai, located at 428 Pleasant Street, is looking for a full-time quick service technician to perform oil changes, exhaust work, and tire services. Job number 116-72955. Per Diem Clinician. Bay Cove Human Services, located at 49 Hillside Street, is looking for a per diem clinician to provide services to adults who have lifelong challenges of developmental disabilities, mental illness, and drug and alcohol dependency. Job number 116-80291. Bristol Community College, located at 777 Ellsbury Street, is looking to fulfill the following full and part-time positions. Senior Special Programs Coordinator, job number 117-60654. Behavioral and Social Sciences Clerk, job number 117-60653. The Sarah Brayton Nursing Center, located at 363 Highland Avenue, is looking to fulfill the following full and part-time positions. Director of Nursing, job number 116-72568. Certified Nursing Assistant, job number 117-54368. For more information on these or other positions, visit masshire.quest.detma.org or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. The BMC Durfee High School construction project is moving along ahead of schedule, as we hear in this report.
K.R. Resendiz, right now, who is our site contractor working for Suffolk, is about 3 weeks ahead of schedule. The weather is helping him tremendously. He's moving along nicely. He's in this phase called over-excavating, which means that he's digging out the foundation, making sure that all of that soil is removed that's not suitable for construction. They are removing it from here, taking it to a Sonnet, to Freetown, processing it, mixing it, getting it the proper mixture of soil content so that when it comes back, it's now suitable, compaction, everything else. So what they do is they dig a big hole the size of the school, and then they fill it back in with good stuff. And then as they need to, come the spring, they'll be digging to put the foundations in. So in a matter of about 6 weeks, cement trucks will be rolling in here by the hundreds, and they will be pouring those foundations and footings so that that process can start. And the next process after that is structural steel, which will start in June.
currently? Are you having trouble with parking like right now?
None at all. None at all. We've moved parking to this new lot, and the remainder, when this lot is full, is going to West Main.
Oh, so the students aren't having problems.
None at all. Nope.
Wow, you have this pretty well worked out.
It's actually worked out well. The lanes are staying open throughout the entire project, so the bus drop-off is still exactly the way it's been since day one. Student drop-off are also the same, and the students are adapting to moving to the other lot. It's a little more hectic for sports because they used to park near the field house, but when sports is going on, the rest of the building isn't going on. We're quiet, so they're using the new parking lot to help out.
Want a passport but don't have time to get one at the Fall River Post Office due to time constraints? FRC Media News has uncovered a new location where local residents can purchase or renew a current passport. Here's more.
Well, starting this coming Monday, the library is going to be a passport acceptance facility. And what that means is instead of waiting in line at the post office, you can make an appointment. I have 4 staff members that are certified, and you can come in. We are not providing the photo, so you would have to either go to CVS or Walgreens to get your passport photo. You bring that in with you. You fill out the application. They walk you through it, and we will mail it in for you. We are charging a $35 fee, and plus, if the passport, I believe, is $110 to apply for a passport, but there are different variations. If it's a renewal, the renewals we don't charge. We just give you the paperwork. But if you need help with that, we will help you with that as well. So I think it's a great service for the community because, as you know, we're open 9 to 9 Monday through Thursday and 9 to 5 on Friday and Saturday. And from what I understand, the post office has limited hours. So it might not be convenient for you to stop there. And the added bonus is you can call and make an appointment so you know you're the only one. You're coming in, there's a time slot for you, there's no time being wasted, and we will help you with filling out the application.
Whose idea was this?
I saw it in one of the library journals that it was happening, and we investigated it, and we just followed through. It required the staff to take an all-day training. So like I said, we have 4 staff members, so hopefully a time that you need, we'll have the availability for you.
A collaboration between the Fall River Children's Museum and the Bristol County Chamber of Commerce has been formed to educate the business community about the importance of early childhood education. The information will be shared at an early education summit scheduled for March 15th.
There are a lot of issues facing young families today and the workforce in early childhood education. We now know the brain development that takes place in the first 5 years. Those of us that have been in that field, we've known it for a long time, but now we have Harvard scientists backing it and saying the first 5 years of development, if children do not get they need in those 5 years, social, emotional, as well as educational, they are playing catch up for the rest of their lives. So we have some, newfound evidence that tells us this. So what we're hoping to do on a day like this is to bring in some professionals from the field, and we also will be showing clips from a new program that the head of the Harvard Child Development Center, Jack Shankoff, who is very well known, they've put this film together, and we'll be showing clips, one of them specifically on brain development, and the other one on the business side of it and what it means to the business community. It means workforce development. It means their future workforce. We talk about trying to raise the bar and better education attainment. And as an early childhood educator, I say, until we break the barrier and realize how important early childhood education is, we're not going to see the big turnaround. It's too late by 7th, 8th, 9th grade. These kids need the help. We need to break the cycle. We need to do it with early childhood education.
We'll have more FRC Media News after this.
So today on Hot Dogs and Cool Cats, we have Pudge. He is a around 5 or 6-year-old boxer pit mix. He is super sweet, super energetic, and he is also very, very smart. Pudge is one of our special cases, and he's kind of our staff favorite. Sit. Super smart boy. He'll sit for hours if need be. He loves to play, he loves toys, he loves to walk, he loves car rides, name it, he loves it. We actually have a special on Pudge. An anonymous donor has paid for his adoption fee. So Pudge can go home pretty much free to anyone willing to take him on. He's super sweet, super smart. He'd be the best dog to train to do anything, and he'll be your best buddy for life. He is a boxer pit mix, around 5-6 years old, and unfortunately he is celebrating his 1-year anniversary here at Forever Paws on January 15th. So if you'd like to meet Pudge or any of our other adoptable animals, cats, dogs, rats, bunnies, feel free to come pay us a visit.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Sheba. Sheba is a 1-year-old English Lop. She loves to be pet. She likes fruits and vegetables, absolutely loves bananas. When she plays around, she hops and does the Happy Bunny dance. She would do great in a home, possibly with another female bunny for a companion. Definitely does well with kids. She's an all-around good girl. So if you want to meet Sheba, come on down to 300 Linwood Street, Fall River at Forever Paws, and give this beautiful little girl a forever home.
With the opioid epidemic plaguing gateway cities like Fall River, the state recently hosted a Recovery Coach Commission listening session at Bristol Community College. The idea is to gain feedback on a plan to launch a Recovery Coach program where lay people familiar with addiction problems, many in recovery themselves, will be trained to help those still suffering from drug and alcohol problems to get back on their feet.
One of the things that we have consistently heard from people who are in recovery from addictions is that they learn a lot from people who have walked the same walk in addition to getting treatment. And so we believe that it's important that as the addiction treatment system develops, that one of the ways to increase access and availability is by having peers, people who have found the path to treatment and recovery, to help others who are starting that journey. It's very powerful. We heard testimony today from people who have said if they'd had a recovery coach 10, 15, 20 years ago, it would have made their treatment more effective.
We are at the top 5 of overdoses here, opioid overdoses in the Commonwealth. And I'm honored to have been asked to serve on this commission to explore how we can improve what we do with recovery coaching, looking at certification, looking at training, looking at supervision, looking at the billing process. But it's important to be here because we have a lot of people in need. And the recovery coach process and the peer-to-peer work that is done is really dramatically making a difference in someone's recovery journey.
That'll do it for this edition of FRC Media News. You can watch FRC Media News Thursdays and Fridays at 6 p.m. here on Channel 95, and you can get more news on our website, frcmedianews.org. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Thursday.